Whoa,
And
whoa,
we're
whoa,
back.
whoa, whoa,
And we're back.
Episode 2, Season 2.
Episode 2? You
Yeah.
said it? Jesus.
Yeah.
God.
She's literally not listening to me at all.
Woo.
Episode
This
2,
is-
Season 2,
Yes,
Two
of
Blank
Two
Girls.
Blank Girls. Thank you guys for coming back. I'm Jenna.
I'm Annitsa. And for those of you who aren't acquainted with our new season yet, it's a little different than our first one.
Yeah.
This time, we're just going to fill in the blank every week with a new adjective, and we're going to tell you all about how we feel, about what's going on in the world.
And how we can relate it all back to that one word.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I feel like this one's going to be a doozy. A real doozy. A big episode,
You're going
if
to
you
learn
will.
some
So
inside
much
info.
things.
So much things.
So I feel like we should just like fucking kick it and do it and just rock and roll.
Yeah. Because on the eve of March 29th, we're two
Embarrassed
girls. Labels.
No, but the thing is okay, the word embarrassed is our first one. And we thought like, what a fucking way to like start the series because, and I was thinking about this word a lot. And I honestly, and I'm sure I'm going to say this like 1,500 times on the show, but like, there's not a word that encapsulates my like general being more than embarrassed.
That's so funny.
On
because
so many different levels. There are
because
levels.
I need to get into this with you. I need to understand because I was thinking about this and I feel like
You don't get
I
embarrassed,
don't get
dude.
embarrassed.
You
No,
don't.
but you know what though? I have all of my experiences are from when I was young, like grade school, like the coming of age, like
Yeah.
embarrassment. I've got some of those for sure. So we'll
But
definitely
like
get
you
into
just
it.
don't. I don't like. I honestly, we've been friends for over 10 years, and I'm like, I can't.
Can you think of a time when I was
No.
embarrassed?
Not really. Not that like stands out or that like, because you know me, it's a daily occurrence.
And I think you not only are you
Daily.
embarrassed of yourself, you get embarrassed like of me sometimes. You
Dude,
just get
of
embarrassed.
everyone in my life.
of
I mean,
situations.
so the definition, I had to look it up because I was like, what does it really actually mean? And it says a feeling of self-consciousness, shame, or awkwardness. Now, the last two I can definitely relate to, but that first one, I'm the most self-conscious person. I am self-conscious for myself. I am self-conscious for the people around me. It's crazy. Like confrontation, you know.
Oh yeah, that's when I
It's
know you get
bad.
embarrassed is when
It's-
like I'm about to
Like
start
when you
something
get
up.
mad and you're like talking out loud, like when you're pissed at something and you start talking out loud when the person can obviously hear it, I literally die inside. I die because I'm like, what if they hear us? Oh my God, what if they hear us? Oh my God, they're going to come
Or
and do this.
it's always. I think we've talked about this at some point in the past on the first season, but when we're in a line and we're standing behind someone and I'm like I'm about to
Yeah, and she just like says it out loud. And I'm like,
like if somebody like budges in front of it, you know how there's that thing, and I know you guys know this, where somebody is standing in line and then all of a sudden 6 of their friends show up.
Yeah.
And they get in there.
no,
you
I
know.
don't like it either. You
Oh,
know how
no.
I feel about it, but I don't say anything, which is, so shitty. How do you, it's a genuine, I actually talked to like a therapist and we were just like meeting each other and she's like, what are the things you're dealing with? And that was the first thing I had to talk about. I was like, my self-consciousness and like embarrassment and like confrontation, I go so far out of my way to like avoid it that it actually causes more confrontation, I think.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And it like, but why? Like, what did I do when I was little where it's caused me to like,
I know, it's interesting. That's
like
something
nothing
you need
in
to
my
explore.
Yeah, I mean that's like a fucking, I need to see like a doctor for that. There's nothing we can do on the show, but like embarrassment also just it means so many things.
So for you currently, that is an accurate description. Not necessarily in this moment right now, but
like in
you
my
could say
life.
like presently in your life. Yeah, I mean it's something that you feel regularly.
Yeah, or if like my sister's being kind of weird or like Cole, my boyfriend's being weird, I get embarrassed and I'm like, oh God. And like that makes me feel like I care so much about what other people think.
Yeah.
That's
I
so
think
bad.
that's true. I think that's what it is. I think the foundation of it is that.
And half the time it's never a thing.
Yeah.
people aren't thinking those things, but I'm so afraid that they're thinking those things that like I end up making them think those things, and it's so fucked.
That's
man.
funny. Yeah, that's because I feel like, you know, how you said you've known me you for this long and you've never seen me. You had to have seen me be embarrassed at some
There
point.
is a moment I could bring up
I
that
wanna
came
hear
off
it.
the top of my head.
I wonder if it's a moment I'm going to bring up.
I couldn't tell if you were embarrassed or not. You definitely turned red. And it was kind of, you were flushed, and then you were like so over it. So to me, it didn't feel that embarrassing, but it's the only
Was
the
this
only
a couple
time.
years ago in my apartment?
Yeah.
Okay, I just screamed it. No, because I literally wrote it down because I was thinking, you know, like I said, most of mine were from when I was when I was really young.
Yeah.
But then I said I was trying to think of some time recently where I felt embarrassed, and I was like, it had to have been like 5 years ago, and we were having a production meeting. They were having with
Morgan?
you and me and Morgan, our friend
Okay,
Morgan.
we got it.
Yeah. I mean, we might as well just say it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is literally. I was like, that had to have been the only time because. Okay, so you guys, we're just gonna get into it.
Yeah.
I have a screen door and a sliding glass door out to my balcony.
Yeah.
And all three of us at some point had been in and out, like looking at something, you know, because we were gonna shoot something out there. And I walk to go back outside, and I walk straight into the glass door and legitimately fall backwards.
Yeah. It
Like,
was like epic.
Like
We were just like
so hard, so like just short of breaking it. Probably.
Yeah, it was nuts.
It was because I think it was. I'm gonna blame Morgan. It might have been you, but one of you guys did not close the screen door, which usually, you know, that's like I see the screen door there, but the screen door was open and it was just the glass door shut. So I just went boom.
Yeah.
And I fell backwards, and then not only that, but then later in the night,
it was like an hour later.
Later, we're sitting there. I'm like lounging on the chair. I mean, I laughed about it. It wasn't like I was like, oh no, and I like ran away.
Yeah.
I laughed about it, but then I'm lounging in the chair, and we're just talking, and I fucking fart.
It was just because you ran into the door, and we were so shocked by how odd that was, because that's so not something that you would do. It's very something I would do, but not Annitsa. And then not an hour later, we're just chilling, and she fucking rips it in front of us, and we're like,
and because it was in front of you, that wouldn't have been anything. But because it was Morgan, who this is a very, let's just preface this with, he was a very handsome, he's a handsome dude, and I used to date him for like a short period of time. Like we dated, and he was a good friend, but it was just like, I guess when it's like a sort of sexual X, you feel like to just rip a big old fart after I just smashed my face into the door.
Yeah, that's literally all I could think of for you, because that's the only time I've ever been like truly shocked. And like, what? Like, it just didn't make sense, and it was so weird. And that's the thing. There's so many different levels of embarrassment when you start getting into this word and really thinking how it's a great word when you think about how it relates to your life. Because the reason I started, it was so complex for me is because, like, okay, so that's just an embarrassing, like, you know, physical,
just a situation,
a physical situation,
physical comedy
kind of thing. But then it can go on levels that are so deep, serious, and that like fuck you. Like, okay, an embarrassing thing for me is how fucking poor I've been, and that goes on a level of like truly deep in your soul. Like,
yeah, that goes down to how you're worth, how you feel
your worth. And like, I have been so fucking broke, dude, that it's like, I mean, change in my account. And like, I remember in New York, I had to, and I was too fucking embarrassed to ask my parents for money, because I was like, what the fuck, I remember that. Loser.
I remember
I had to pack all of my things in black trash bags.
Mm-hmm.
I had no money for food. I happened to find a box. If my mom hears this, she is going to sob.
She's going to cry.
She's going to be crying. No, but I had found, I was so hungry, had no money. I asked, and I couldn't ask for help from the friends who were already helping me by letting me stay on their couch. I found a box of old fucking like year-old noodles, and I was just like, well, that's what I have to eat, you know. And that is a type of embarrass that is just like out of control and will like affect you. But then I have
that ties in with pride. That ties in with all sorts of things. But embarrassment, you're right.
It's literally this huge, it means so many things. But then I've also done a full fucking belly flop in front of the Trader Joe's on Hollywood Boulevard. Literally slid like a seal. in front of 100 people.
And I have said
flopped
so many times that I would pay basically any amount of money at this point to have seen that, to have been there in that moment.
Because the Hollywood stars are slick.
Yeah.
And I was just going to Trader Joe's.
In your flip, they were like sandals,
I was wearing
right?
sandals, and they hit like a nick. I literally went straight into the air, belly flopped, and slid like 4 stars down.
I just picture you with your arms back like,
yeah. And I had to just like, everybody saw it, and I had to just pretend like it didn't happen. And I never know whether you laugh or just like get up and pretend like
I think it's better. Personally,
you have
to
laugh.
Better to laugh.
I do. And I felt,
unless you're really hurt, and then you're like, fuck.
And then I know you're trying to like not
cry.
the whole cry. Well, the last time I fell really hard, I was on my phone like a fucking dummy, and I missed the curve.
Oh yeah.
Went straight into the concrete, ripped my knee. Remember, I couldn't bend my knee for like weeks. It hurt so bad. Ripped all the skin off my knee and my hands. Dropped every.
Well, see, okay,
it's
but
out of
did
control
you feel?
how many
Did you
times I've
feel
fallen.
embarrassed?
So embarrassed.
Okay. Yeah, because there was
like, I'm not one of those who. I mean, yes, I laugh it off, but I will think about it for a week, and I will think about who was watching me, how I looked when I fell, and
they have a great story. They have something funny to talk about too.
Yeah, that stupid white chick just fucking on her phone like an idiot.
Well, I fell not too long ago. It was like maybe 6 or 7 years ago here outside the theater with a line of like 200, 300 people, and it was raining, and I slipped and fell and bashed completely on my back, smashed my body. Like, and I think the reason it was so funny and probably should have been so embarrassing too was the speed at which it happened. It was just like there was a magnet pulling me straight to the ground, and I swear to you, I had a fucking concussion because I tried to walk up the stairs, and I was gonna pass out, so I was like because I just went, I need to turn the lights on in the theater. I have to let people in. I was the only person there, so I was like crawling up the stairs like I gotta open the theater.
And you know what? It sucks when it happens to you, but when you get to see it happen,
gold, Jerry.
I know people genuinely get hurt, and I feel very bad about it. But there is nothing funnier than when someone eats it. And I hope people laughed when I fell because it was amazing.
Well, you can hope that it gave someone joy because it sucked for you. So it's like, let's hope somebody has a good time.
Somebody get a good laugh out of it. And it's so, there's that. And then there's just like stupid, I don't know. Embarrassing is just, it's such a good word. And it just like literally hits on so many levels. I've been embarrassed with guys.
Yeah, I was trying to think of embarrassing dating stories, and I don't really have. I bet you if I asked any of my exes, they probably could tell me something. But
I used to lie about my age, and I got caught. So all the boys I liked were in 8th grade. I told them I was in 6th. I was really in 5th.
Oh my God.
And they found out, and they all called me. They like 3-way called me and like called me out, and I had to pretend like, or I think I like pretended like, oh, my mom's calling me, or like, the phone's breaking up, I can't hear you, and I would hang up, and it was crazy. And so I used to lie to boys about, I would tell them to call me, my boyfriends, and then when they actually called, did you ever do that? Did boys ever call your house?
Yeah, when I was in grade school.
When you told when guys you like, but I used to tell my mom to tell them I wasn't home. Why would I do that? I was so embarrassed and like
you just couldn't
self-conscious. I could not talk to him on the phone. It's like I wasn't interesting enough or something. I am literally so messed up.
I think it's like self-esteem tied, perhaps.
Yeah, or does that link with embarrassment? Am I embarrassed of like myself? I would have to write notes of stuff to talk about. If I was ever able to actually get on the phone with a boy, which never happened because I'd always freak out and be like, Mom, tell him I'm not here. And then if I could, I'd have a list. It's like I was just so embarrassed to like try to be like cute. Well, I don't know, dude. It's crazy.
I can think of some embarrassing stories for you. Like I know a lot that you've told me over the years, and I'm wondering if you're gonna share. Do you have like a moment where you thought this is the most embarrassing? Like I'm gonna die because of this.
I mean, it definitely would have been when I was young because I was way more like, you're formidable and you're like growing and you don't know what anything is or like whatever. I mean, fuck, starting my period, dude. That's real graphic for y'all listening. But like, I was in the 5th grade. I was very, very young.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You want to talk about being like, you want to die? Is starting my period in 5th grade and it went through my pants.
Yeah.
And having to make up a story to everybody that I sat on a marker. That is the story I fucking ran with. And I just told, I even like made evidence. I was like,
you know what?
That's a whole other thing.
That's a whole other thing that like we can't even get into because culturally that's so fucked. I feel like we're not prepared as young girls to deal with that. You know,
God,
we don't.
it was
The fact that we think of it as an embarrassing thing as opposed to just something that happens, and that's a thing. It's such a stigma. There's such a stigma.
I was so embarrassed. I hid it from my mom for almost a year,
dude.
I would have to hide pads and stuff. Like I was so embarrassed by it, and it's so sad.
That's crazy, and I think that truly comes with our culture. There's something about it where menstruation is like this thing that women are supposed to hide, and we're supposed to, like, when you walk into the bathroom holding your tampon, you're supposed to like hide it, put it in your pocket, because God forbid it's just in your hand. Yeah. God forbid anyone knows you're actually on your period. Like that's such an interesting. It's very weird, and that to me is extremely fucked up. But I think every woman can attest to that, and probably has a similar story where it's like there was some sort of bleed through moment.
Dude, it's terrible.
You know, like I used to, because forever and ever I didn't wear tampons, so
I didn't either.
I had these huge maxi pads, and I would be like wearing like short shorts, and I had like a maxi pad wing like sticking out.
Oh yeah, I'd go to the beach and it would like leak and go down your leg, and I'm in a fucking Quicksilver, and I got fucking blood. I was like,
in the formidable years of junior high, they fucking made us take a swimming class. Like
I couldn't.
7th grade, it was mandatory swimming class.
Jesus.
And I'm like, we're so awkward. Everybody's going through puberty. We have to wear swimsuits. And I remember like wearing a pad in the pool, and I'm like, how does this happen? Like, and I think back on that now,
and I'm
those
like, big flaps just fucking coming out.
But also, how do you have a pad in the pool? Like, what?
It's insane.
I just think about that, but that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, that's why this word, like, to me, it really is so loaded. It means so many different things to me because it stems from so many different angles. But like, honestly, there is nothing worse to me than being embarrassed. It sucks. It is a terrible, I mean, you can laugh at sometimes and when you're embarrassed because it's like light and like, you know, I ripped it during a physical fitness test in elementary school and I wanted to fucking die then too. But it was like, it's funny now. But then, like I said, you've got those like deep core, hardcore, like, you know,
it's true,
almost sad, if you will, kind of memories. But
I feel like I just have to share a couple of mine because, you know, at this point I think there's gonna be a moment in the future. If it comes a time again when I become extremely embarrassed, I'm just gonna share it with the podcast. I don't care what word we're doing, what we're doing.
It's gonna be hard for you though. You just don't get that way. You're not a fucking psycho like I am.
Well, I am just I'm unflappable, you guys.
Well, it's your I think you have way more confidence than I do. When you have confidence,
I don't care what people think.
Yeah,
really.
There's not like. But the thing is, it's not that I care what people think, really. But like, I want people to like me, of course. But it's also like, I just hate people feeling bad if I think I caused it, or if there's any imposition I put them in. You know, even when it like actually fucks
on the street.
Me. Okay, not so much that, because there's nothing I can do about that. Fuck, man.
I get it though. I get it. I mean, I can remember my first. This is true embarrassment. I remember this so vividly. I was in kindergarten and I was learning to write. I was learning to spell my last name, and I was writing it down, you know, on with the dotted line in the middle and the two solid lines, and was so proud of myself. Like writing Sprincinatic was a big deal. Yeah. And I remember this kid. I'm gonna shout out his full name. Brock Shower, if you're out there, I forgive you now. But back then, he's a good guy. But back then, he looked at me and he said, "That's how you write your S's." Like it was the worst thing he could have ever. He's just like, "That's how you write your S's?" God. And he started laughing at me because I wrote my S's a certain way. And I remember,
and it was in front of the class.
Yeah. Yeah. And I put my head down. Like in embarrassment, just kind of, you know, just hiding from people. And I guess my pencil was extremely sharp because all of a sudden I see blood dropping onto my paper. I had stabbed myself in the face with a pencil in my cheek. Jesus. By accident. Like I didn't even feel it. I just looked down and I see blood and I'm like, I go up to my teacher and I'm like, "Am I bleeding?" She's like, "Oh my God." And I like sent me to the office and like had to put peroxide on my face. Like because I was so embarrassed, like I had accidentally stabbed myself in the face.
Well, you were also like, you know, smarty pants in school. Yeah. So I feel like that's from the stories that I know of you, your embarrassment comes from being the like goody two shoe kind of like not because you meant it, but because everybody would like
people thought that
would like say like, oh, Annitsa knows she's a fucking I could see that happening.
Yeah, I used to have that. Even in high school I remember people would just be like they would ask, oh, does anyone know it, and then no one would raise their hand. I would just sit there. I'm not the person that would always just be like hand up first, but I would know the answer, and then everyone would just be like, Annitsa knows, Anna knows, just call on her, and I'm like, oh, this is happening now. I'm like, you know what? But I'm proud of that embarrassment. Fuck y'all if you can't deal with me.
Yeah.
But this one I think you can relate to because I was so self-conscious and embarrassed in like 6th grade of my back knee.
Girl, my back knee.
Like acne in general has been a source of embarrassment for my whole life.
That's a whole subject we could literally do this whole podcast on.
We could do an entire season on acne.
Our fucking acne and yes, it is the most. I literally doesn't get it. You know all that shit I've talked about in this podcast so far in this episode. Forget it.
It's the acne.
It's fucking acne.
Yeah, because you know what? I couldn't wear tank tops. I had so much back knee, you guys. Back knee.
What causes
I don't know.
knee?
I have no fucking clue.
Honestly.
And it was more than my face at that time. Then once I hit junior high, it was like face, acne.
Jesus.
But before that, like 6th grade, like pre-pubescent, it was back knee. And I remember we had to do this like living statue thing, and I was doing Princess Diana, and I had to like talk about her, and I had to wear this like little poofy princess dress. And I remember like it scooped a little low in the back, and I was just like,
got a little sneak peek.
I was like, no. I was like, no, I couldn't wear. All I wanted to do was wear a fucking spaghetti strap tank because everybody was wearing them, but I couldn't because my back knee was raging. I was so embarrassed, dude.
Dude, that's one thing I praise the Lord. Nothing against you. I know that was rough, but I've dealt with my face real bad. Definitely not my back. Other places, sure.
Yeah, we've talked about that before. I know that.
God damn. But like acne, it like what a cruel joke.
I know.
Not only are we young and going through like changes in our bodies, we have no idea what's happening. We just want to be cool and liked and fit in, and then yet here is a fucking pizza face just growing out. It's just
painful, red, vibrating, squirting juices all over the place.
And like just like it literally could. And now and I don't know what's more cruel, dealing with that when you're young and impressionable, or now. I don't know what's worse.
When you're in your 30s and having like to go to an audition and it's like, oh, sorry.
Or like go on a date or like go to work. I couldn't get my eyebrows done today because I was like, sorry, raging forehead acne. I can't do it. I can't have them near my forehead to see it. And it's just like, dude, what is gonna I just don't know. It's such a weird thing. Why do we need it? What is the fucking point? It does nothing for us. And I just don't, it makes me so angry. And like, yeah, when I was young, man, I had to go on like prescription.
Dude, Accutane. This is what I was going to say. We both shared this embarrassment when we were in New York. We had our final film.
God.
We were in film school. We make this final film, which first of all was embarrassing enough as it was. But then for the first time, we're seeing our faces on the big screen, and that was at the height of my Accutane raging, where it was like it's got to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
My God in heaven.
I look like a who's the guy from the Goonies? What's his name?
A sloth?
Yes, sloth. You know that real bubbly skin, kind of like, because I had that cystic. We had that bad cystic acne. So they're like boils under our skin, and it was all over my. Oh God. I have pictures that will make the hair on your arm stand up.
You know what I feel like? I want to liberate myself, and I think that when we post this episode, I am going to fucking post my 7th grade school photo with my short pixie cut and my raging acne. You know what?
I don't even know if I've seen that.
I'm gonna liberate all y'all.
Yeah, it is, man.
And you guys like how I'm saying y'all? I'm really trying to.
She's picked up on my accent.
Tonight, I'm trying to embrace this.
Well, and speaking of like other than acne, not only did I have acne, I had the worst teeth in the whole world. I've had every sort of, I had braces for 5 fucking years. That's how bad it was.
That's crazy.
I had a herpes. I had a quad. I had to restructure the bones in my top jaw. So I
wish you had one of those metal headpieces that wrapped around.
My headpiece was inside my mouth at all times. I didn't wear it at night. It was in my fucking mouth, and it put an 1.5 inch gap in my front teeth in the 5th grade on my period. Cool. How's your life? That's what
and those are the characters we love on comic shows and things like when you watch a
you love the
cartoon,
underdoggy,
those people are the ones you fucking love. But in real life, when you're going through it, nah.
It's tough, and it's like,
dude, I once pissed my pants on the way to do a musical performance. We're supposed to. I was in 5th grade, supposed to go to the high school to practice on their big old stage, laughing at recess with my best friend, pissed everywhere.
At least you were laughing,
and
though.
It
doesn't. It's not coming from a
fear
or scared or you have issues.
I laughed till I pissed, and then I had to just literally wrap my sweatshirt around my waist and go stand on a stage in front of 200 people, and cover up my piss pants.
It never ends. I think it's a part of life,
dude.
It's just one of those things you have to just fucking embrace, I guess.
Yeah.
But
dude, what about when you? Well, I don't know if this was embarrassing for you, but now I want to share it because it'll be embarrassing now. Do you remember when you told me how you?
You can say I pooped on my skirt?
No, I do want to hear that. Wasn't that your grandma?
I was with my grandma and I pooped on my long skirt because I didn't.
I thought that was her, and she had to be pantless.
No, that's another story. That's that happened to my grandma. This one happened to me. I had a long floor length skirt on, and I didn't pull it up high enough when I went to the bathroom, and I sat down and I pooped all over the skirt and had to be in the bathroom by myself and pretend like it didn't happen. And I was cleaning and watching my skirt. It was soaking wet. Then my grandmother finally came in and is like, what is going on? And I had to tell her.
No, I was thinking about the time you had a yeast infection and you put the monostat or whatever up in it, but you went to class or something. You were like, I didn't do it overnight.
You're supposed to do it. Those things. God, Jesus. We are getting very personal now. I guess I've got to tell the story. Well, that's like when I took what's the stuff? Ally. Do you guys know what that is? It's a weight loss supplement that you take, and it's supposed to separate all of the fat from your food and excrete it out of your butthole. And I went overboard one day and had black beans and quesadillas and went to class. Had to go to class, and literally orange oil was seeping out of my butthole, and I kept smelling something, and I'm like, what the fuck is that smell? And I went to the bathroom, and it was all in my underwear, and I went, oh my God, Ally, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah,
how desperate you are.
Thing with fucking, so if you have
if you have yeast infection, you put the monostat pill up there at night and you sleep.
Because it
it does it while you sleep. It
goo.
leaks. I did not do that. And I had to walk around with a huge puddle in the front of my pants because it was the monostat.
And this was in college, you guys. This was
just
in college.
Killing it. So, dude, my stories have been way worse. Ally, monostat.
I mean, I've sharted.
Acne.
I've sharted, but I don't know if that's
Dude.
Well, I told an embarrassing story in season 1 about how I thought I shit my pants, but I was all by myself though. Yeah. I mean, I thought I shit my pants, and I had to wipe my ass in the middle of Hollywood, in my car.
That's why, I honestly think, isn't it safe to say that life is nothing but embarrassment, and it's just how you deal with it.
How you deal with it.
It's how you get through life. It's how you roll with it. Because honestly, when I said that it encapsulates my whole life, I'm literally, what does it not? Everything I do, the podcast. I can't even say the fucking name of podcasts or the episodes. I can't get words out. It's not that it's embarrassing, but it's fuck. Get your shit together. And I just deal with it. But I did find a cool article that's kind of about what embarrassing means as far as your brain and the science. Flushed, red hot cheeks, sweating palms. And this is from Live Science. It's obviously a science kind of based website, but it's it's pretty interesting. people who show low levels of embarrassment, including those with dementia, this brain region is smaller than normal. Oh. And I'm like, yeah, dementia, you don't fucking know what's going on, so that makes sense. You don't care. Yeah. You're not aware, you know.
Do I have early onset dementia? That's why I don't care.
Maybe. We got to check it out. This region is actually essential for this reaction. When you lose this region, you lose this embarrassment response, which imagine, okay, so it's essentially saying it's called the embarrassment center is focused in an area called the pregenual, I don't know, anterior cingulate cortex. This tissue resides deep in your brain to the front and to the right. Imagine.
You just pull that out.
How big mine is. How much I deal with this every day and how much it consumes my body. Imagine how big mine is and how little yours is. Which is like this region is integral in regulating many automatic bodily functions such as sweating, heartbeat, and breathing, but it also participates in many thinking related functions, including emotions, reward searching behaviors like those implicated in addiction and decision making. So it's like there is this science to it, and I'm just wondering if there's a way I can like retrain my brain.
Yeah.
To like take the embarrassment and not like run with it. Something in my brain is like,
you got it. That's what therapy's for, girl. That's what therapy's for.
Therapy is also very expensive.
That's true. And you're embarrassed that you're broke, so you can't.
Well, I'm not broke anymore. Let me just tell y'all, I got a big old fat tax return. I am not embarrassed about that.
Oh shit.
So, but anyways.
Good for you, girl. Well, that's interesting. I mean, because I feel like there are certain people, especially like in the public eye sometimes, where it's like, man, they go through some embarrassing shit because it's embarrassing because it's in front of a cajillion people. So you're like, oh my god. But there are certain people out there who do things and they don't seem to give two shits about how ridiculous they are and how,
which like part of me is kind of jealous of, because I'm like, oh, that's cool, they don't care. But then it's also like, where's the awareness? Is there any awareness? And is that why they're not embarrassed? And that's why they do shit where you're like, oh my god.
I think there's a difference. Like, you don't have to be embarrassed if it's something that's an accident that you like the bodily functions, things like that, falling, whatever, making a mistake. But if it's, I think to me, the things that would be worse would be an embarrassment on like saying something that offends a group of people,
or like cheating,
making a big mistake,
being caught, when you have a wife and
when it implicates other people, or when that's when I think it's like, woo, that's got to be the most embarrassing thing in the world, when all of a sudden something comes out that makes you seem like not as good of a person. Yeah. That's when it's like, Jesus.
But then it sucks because we're all fucking people. And for some reason we put these like celebrities and politicians and we're all, whatever, we put them on such a high pedestal that like, that sucks, man. I feel so bad for them. And like, thank God. Like, I mean, I couldn't imagine going through things that I've gone through and doing it in the public. Yeah. It's just crazy.
I think for me though, I'm going to say it and we don't have to get into it, but I have been pretty embarrassed to be from America right now.
Yeah. I've been pretty embarrassed.
Weird.
There's a lot of feelings.
I've been proud of a lot of the movements that have been happening, but I tell you what, if I were to travel abroad right now, I would be super embarrassed to be like, yeah, I'm from the US. Yeah. Because my God.
Well, there's just so much shit going down and it's hard, and we're embarrassed, it's so, again, I literally can't say this enough, like in this episode.
The levels.
It is just out of control. Like I'm, there are days where, and I feel really weird saying this, but there are days where I'm really embarrassed to be white. Oh yeah. Is that bad? Is that bad to say?
No, I feel ashamed. I feel more ashamed, I think, to be white.
It's embarrassing too, because I'm like, God, like,
just another at least we have the woman thing on going for us, because at least we're like
running with run with that.
We're not just a white male right now, because that to me is embarrassing.
It's hard, it's tough, and but then you could get in the argument that like it sucks for the white males who are actually doing good, and who do good shit, and so they're getting trumped by the fucking.
But those guys are woke enough to be like, you know what? Hey, we'll accept responsibility, and like we know we suck, but I'm gonna do the best I can, and that's as as good as you can do do, but interesting stuff. This is a very enlightening hard.
We're getting light, talking about butthole leakage, and then also going into the soul and how we feel. And I mean, I've got embarrassing stories that have kind of shaped who I am, how I feel about things, like especially like the time my mom walked in on us watching a porn.
Ooh.
Hope nobody in my family's listening. This is gonna be the worst.
But again, it's a human thing.
I think it affects how I feel about like I'm not intimate. Me and my family are super weird about intimacy. Watching people kiss makes me embarrassed. Why?
Interesting.
And I think that story has a lot to do with it. We were pretty embarrassed by our decision to do that.
I've definitely, and I know some embarrassing stories of my friends and my family, and I think they're so amazing and funny. And
at the end of the day, you have to laugh at every single thing. Yeah. I was broke. I ate fucking pasta out of a fucking, euro. You look back at it and you just have to go.
As long as you make it through. Shit.
As long as you get through it.
And I think, and I hope that, I think when we post these episodes too, I really want to encourage people on social media to share their stories.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like we're going to post stuff up on Instagram, and I want people to tell us their embarrassing stories. I think
because there's also something about telling people too. It just saying it out loud and getting it out.
It makes it feel better.
If you're doing like freaky deaky stuff, keep that to yourself. No,
or just privately DM me.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll discuss privately.
But I just think it's just the whole for me at least. I feel like what this season can do is bring people together more, and I think that's something that we need now.
Yeah.
In a fun way, in a silly way, and sometimes in a really serious way. So
yeah,
tell us your shit stories, tell us your traumatizing, embarrassing stories.
If you had acne,
hell yeah,
let's give Annitsa a moment.
Because you know what, I'm gonna I promise you now. I have said it, and I'm gonna fucking share that photo. I'm gonna get it out tonight. I'm gonna show Jenna, and then I'm gonna share it with the world.
I'll show an embarrassing photo too, because I think the most embarrassing and that's another thing we can go into is about your looks. Being embarrassed about what I used to wear. Oh my God. I look back and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why was that a thing? Why would my mother let me, the icing blue eyeshadow.
Yes.
The by Mary-Kate and Ashley, that was like the rage.
The best.
Shimmery. And it was like ice blue, or you got the pink. I used to put Sun in my hair. Ooh. So I had orange, black roots, orange hair. Ooh. I had a mushroom cut.
Yes.
I went through a skater phase where I was wearing baggy Jinkos. Yeah, I went through a slut phase. I mean, out of control.
There are the throwback photos that you post that are funny like that.
Yeah.
But then there are the ones that people don't post because they are truly embarrassing.
So
that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm going to get deep into.
Yeah.
Because I could post photos where I look dumb, where I'm wearing silly clothes. But I'm going to post one where I still look at it and I feel bad about myself.
Oh my God.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I challenge you to, let's do it.
I have some that will definitely it's going to hurt a little. Well, I was a little embarrassed last season by the fucking camel toe pic of me when I was little with camel toe. I'm like, that is so embarrassing. That is I am little and I look like a little boy, but yet I have full blown camel toe in this photo. And it's embarrassing.
I love that photo. That photo to me is endearing and wonderful.
Well, I do what I can. But I guess,
Jesus, I
camel
hope
toe for life. Back knee.
It up.
Oh
Start
boy,
it up.
My God.
Woo, if that did not give you some insight into who we are as people, and you don't feel closer to us.
I don't know how much closer you can get. I don't know if you want to know.
You know what? You can get a little closer if you go to our website, twobulkgirls.com.
That sounds fun.
Go to our Instagram, our Facebook, all under... Did I say Two Bulk Girls? God damn it.
Woo! Living in the past.
You know what?
But we're looking to the future.
Two blank girls. God damn it. You know what? We're human beings. Clearly, as you've seen.
Talk about being embarrassed.
We make... I got egg on my face right now.
twoblankgirls.com.
Yes.
Find us on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Facebook. Also, if you want to be super generous and get, on another level of close to us and support us monetarily.
Yeah.
Even
our moms.
Yeah. You could be just like our moms.
Totally. Don't you want it? Be a patron.
Yeah. Even $1 a month helps us out. Patreon.com and look up Two Blank Girls.
Yeah. But most importantly, come back.
And you know what though? There's one more thing.
Oh shit. There's more.
Why do we always fucking wrap it up? Because I want to invite you all.
I'm so eager to go because I need to go to the bathroom.
Since we're best friends now, all of us, you guys tell the world that we're best friends on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play. Just write a review because you love us and we
love you. And now we're saying goodbye until next week.
Wrap
Are you sad?
I am sad.
I know I was asking the listeners.
Listeners?
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Bye.
Bye.